Hello, hello, what is up, everybody? Back for another edition of Quest for the Best. It is a weekend! Woohoo! Yeah, baby. And it is one of those odd, quiet weekends. It's a holiday weekend for Easter, you Easter fans. You fans of the bunny or the Jesus. But it is, well, there's no magic going on in the world. There's no magic tournaments to watch, which is, we're on a break. and Ket's going to come out soon, so there's not going to be much of that. But I am here. I'm here to fill in. If your appetite is for watching streaming magic, hyper-competitive streaming magic on the weekend, I'm here to crush some seals and probably disappoint you. But I'll do my best work. The best I can do. This is, you just can't turn that down, can ya? This hand could be anything. Even a boat. Where to begin? Just about everything's gonna be tapped. I sort of want to start here. But I also want to start here. I think this gets me another white, because why not? But, this lets check lands enter the battlefield untapped, but might enter untapped later. I guess we'll go this way. Oh, mana bases. Duels mana bases. Thank God I'm not in a rush to do much. Let's see if our opponent puts us in a rush. They're gonna show us the renegade map. Kiai. Alright. Gonna be that kind of thing. Gonna put a renegade map on me. I gotcha. I get it. Right. Wilds goes second. We'll see what he does. Maybe I want to go get a black to have grasp up, but maybe not. Fetch is for the plains. And the play? Maybe we're up against a renegade rallier deck. I did not know that card was now in the deck box. In fact, I'm learning a lot about the deck box I never knew. Not since Origins have I really cared what's in the deck box, but I've been watching Super Ladman subscriber tournament, which Alona, one of the YouTube personalities, just played in. And when I watched that, I'm like, oh, look at all the cards they put in the deck box. It was an Emerge deck, an Emerge Revolt deck going up against a Simic Energy deck, and I'm like, wow. I guess you can do more with that than you expected. That's a really good draw. It doesn't let me hold this up, but it lets these enter untapped, and I get to play this. So everything's okay. Next turn we'll have this and this ready to go. Broken and Glimmer, baby. Broken and Glimmer. BFFs. I've started to learn a new appreciation for the 3-mana counterspell. It's not very good in a lot of matchups, but it isn't as absolute horrible as maybe I treated it like for the last several formats. Okay. Since I have the counterspell, I think I'm going to kill this elf, and not his mana guy, because whatever he's ramping into, we can at least counter the first one. And who knows? It might be part of his deck box thing. I think we've got all deck box cards so far. Somebody diving right into the deep end today, and props to them for their braverism. But they jumped into the sea, they are swimming with sharks. Xbox matchmaking, you should totally fix that. I'm sure I might just freak some new to the game players out, or I might just inspire them with my glimmers of genius while I shatter their concentration. Who knows? I really don't think I spend counters on cards like that. I think that would be bad. I think it's better to glimmer into a sweeper or removal. My deck is full of them. And a scavenger. Well, he double spelled me on a turn where I really wanted to counter something, but I'm not scared of an 0-4, so we're not countering that either. And here comes the beats. Let's try to draw a languish, shall we? Languish or removal spells. We do not need more lands, and we do not need more counter spells at this point. Getting awkward. Alright. What are we taking this turn? 6? Yep. Getting awkward. But I think we'll be okay. Does make Anguish Unmaking pretty bad. So he's played everything first main, so I think we can assume that that's the plan. I guess we could counter this and just shut down the value dork. Or we could use another glimmer to look for languish. What's best? So that's only representing 1 damage, but it does give him a relevant play for next turn, which we want to spend next turn gear hulking, so we don't want him to have a relevant play. Yeah, I think this is right in this case. He might be running that emerge strategy out of the deck box, as we have seen sometimes in the Super Ladman tournament of deck box champions, which I wish I could have participated in, but I do not have Steam. And here we go. I would love to, you know, just something different for the format. Getting a new and probably more condensed format to analyze would be nice. I am definitely best at condensed formats. I do really well in like pre-release sealed events back in the day. Block constructed. I qualified for the Pro Tour on 3 occasions in block constructed formats, so that's where I'm at my best. The bigger the format gets, the more something falls off in my game. Alright, here we go. Gemini says greetings. Greetings to you as well. Good morning. Happy weekend. I'm gonna glimmer. Languish is still the best way out of this. The odds of finding it, meh, but gotta keep looking. Push is good. Well, push only hits Suntail Hawk after this, and I don't have a way to get Revolt, so it's not that good. Let's just draw 2. Hope he doesn't have Titanic Growth for the blowouts. Down to 7. Yeah, Blessed Alliance is another card I would keep for the life gain. It's the other thing I'm concerned about. Your thoughts on cutting Liliana the Last Hope? Not many creatures to get back, which means all it really does is kill 1 toughness creatures as it ticks up in ultimate. Now, that's often enough to win the game, but I don't want to tap out on turn 3. I want to play counter spells and removal spells. So that's a thought process. Can't do too much from there. Okay. Interesting that he has Grasp of the Hyro. So we can't have him pulling that off. So I guess we have to, dear God, we have to Anguish Unmake a Suntail Hawk. And he's got a 5/4. Cash in a counter while we can, I suppose. And does this give him Delirium? I don't think it does. Nope, not yet. 1 off. And he'll get in for 1, and then next turn for 2, so we gotta find a removal. But we're walking that dreaded control type tightrope. But if you don't like going down to low life totals and then fighting your way back, you shouldn't play control. That's a good draw, I think. Main phase Glimmer. I have Declaration Stone. That's a sorcery speed. So maybe a main phase Glimmer is called for. Let's try to find a removal, shall we? That's a good one. But I can't cast it this turn. Disperse is great. Happy to take it. Question is, do I go to 1? I think I can with Blessed Alliance and a counter spell ready to go. Yeah, I think I can go to 1. Okay. So what's better? Bouncing or countering this? The counter has more utility, so I think we're going to disperse his flyer. Go. That was an interesting interpretation on her. What about Gideon? Gideon's double white. This deck is very much like just a white splash. I think it's only 7, maybe 8 white cards, all of them only costing 1 white. So I never want to worry about having double white. I want to have as much. I run submerged boneyard even, so I want to make sure I have double black and double blue on turn 3 all the time. It's possible I could still run Gideon because the opportunity cost isn't too much. So it's not a terrible idea to run Gideon if you like it better than some of the other finishers in the deck, which I would understand. So I'm not as adamant about cutting Gideon as I am about some of the other things. But I haven't missed him too much, to be honest. He's kind of awkward trying to when to spike him on turn 4 or when to play him later. His incremental advantage is 2/2s, which a lot of decks seem more than happy to mess with creatures once you put them out there. Here we go. I'm a little nervous if he wants to attack with some other things. Okay, he doesn't. Good. Was going to make things a bit awkward. Because I definitely wanted to tag his flyer with the Blessed Alliance. Sup, govna? Hello, Bounce. OC616 jumping in. Alright, he's got a Hydra. How bad is that? Pretty bad, right? Because what's he going to do? He's going to top deck like larger than life, and I don't have a way to deal with it right now, so I guess we'll counter your Hydra. That thing can be a pain. Okay. Now we're talking. I'll send the 5/6 in before we shrink it. If he blocks it, then we'll just have to wait on our languishing. It's okay. Nope. Takes the damage. Bravo. Now we don't have counter shields anyway, but we're gonna have a weird, awkward moment of let's see what he can draw. Last minute predictions? I thought we still had time. I still want pull from tomorrow more than most things. Pull from tomorrow and cast out. I think those are the 2 cards that get, I don't know, that would have some interesting effects on the meta. But I think this, the more I look at the set, man, I think it was made for Bounce. It's a Bounce, Hakeem, and some of you value enthusiasts. It seems like a really dirtly set to me. Dirtle, dirtle, dirtles. All about them dirtles. Alright. Not even going to fragmentize that thing. I can do that next turn. Lay bare the heart. I honestly don't want either of those cards. I like duels in kind of the way that duels has its own personality of like you get to play most of your things and then the opponents have to deal. I think both of those effects are, I won't say feel bad effects, but they're not great. They don't feel good for players a lot of the time. So I honestly won't miss either one of those, even though they're definitely skill intensive cards and I can see why people like them. That set is like a wet dream I'm about to wake up from, says Bounce. Yeah. It's always enthusiasm until they don't give you something and then you hate it. Never return is exactly what you're describing. Nah. Especially for duels. They want planeswalkers which never used to be in the game, by the way, but now that they're in the game, they want planeswalkers to feel special. When there's a card that just says destroy your planeswalker at very little cost, it's no big deal. Message. All right. We're going to take the win, but give the gold. Because our opponent was very polite. Our opponent was very, very polite. And said, good game, I had a chance for a bit. So, kudos on them for not getting bitter about Xbox matchmaking. And we'll go to 7-1. But Amonkhet is full of interesting cards, but I mean, you don't want to get me going too much, right? We're going to have a podcast to talk about all these things. You don't want to hear everything I have to say right now, or the podcast won't be as interesting. But I do think it's dirtle.set. I'll give you that preview right here. This is a tough one. Drawing lands would make this hand great, but I don't think I want to try. This is awkward. You really don't like that many basic lands in your hand with this deck. It's not good. So we'll see if we suffer for it. Basic Plains, worst card in the deck. By far. Absolute garbage of a card, this Basic Plains, but it may come in handy. Against the inevitable tutelage. Who are we up against? I didn't even look. We are up against Titan 6684, a rank 39. Reeking of tutelage. Just smell it. Probably 3 of them too. So we'll take that. What do I need? I need another black, so we'll take that. Would love some cancels, though. Would love it. Telling time, perhaps? What do you know? Foiled out, telling that time, baby. The obsession people have with such things. But I did it too. We're just trading our telling times. We're just filtering our deck a little bit before we rev up for the big fight. The garrison, huh? That's interesting. And not what I expected. If I draw a basic swamp, I don't have to use an unmaking on that, so I'm gonna wait. Okay. You die. Gemini says, in relation to Amonkhet, that the white cards mostly look like they're built solely for draft, with the exception of Gideon. That true? Draft. Depends if Trueheart Duelist is actually a good card. I don't know. Seems like a reasonable humans type card. Renewed Faith is definitely a great draft card, but I think that, Regal Caracal might be a legit card if 5 drops are what you're into. I'm skeptical of Oketra, but Glory Bound Initiate is a constructed card, I think. I think Gideon of the Trials, definitely. Forsake the Worldly, I think that's a good one-of for constructed, especially a good one-of for duels. The Cartouche might be a good card. Cast Out's definitely a good card. I don't know if Binding Mummy is any good. Approach of the Second Sun is something people will try. Mind Sensor probably isn't good in the meta at the moment. Anointed Procession is a bit too gimmicky. Anointed Priest might be good. Angel of Sanctions is probably good. I wouldn't say it's too drafty. Alright, back to what's going on. Let's... boom. Your move. Amonkhet seems to have a lot of hate for Kaladesh. It has some hate. I still want the card that says destroy target vehicle and all creatures that crewed that vehicle. I think that's the hate that's needed. But maybe that pushes vehicles straight out and they don't want to do that. But vehicles had a whole, they had a whole cycle. We can push them out now. It's not the end of the world if we say, hell no, you can go. Um. Meow. Pause. Analysis. You got it. Hand not quite lined up for this game yet, but at least we have a lot of land drops if it's going to be a slower game. However, our opponent seems to have a creature theme, and creature themes... Yeah, there's one. Hello. Hello, 5/4. What could he have? Could he have that card? Yeah, he could have the one that deals 3. So, no, we will not block. Might be a trap. It's a trap! See if he runs Dispel. Nope. Okay, now do we throw the vent at him? I'll take down Unmaking, but I don't see anything I need to unmake. So let's see if he has it. Oh wait, right now a shock would do it too, because of the Weaver, so maybe that's just a dumb play. Nope. Nope, we'll sit. We are flooding to a bit of the crazy extremes, but hopefully that will clear up. Only time will tell. Like the Poison song, I believe, would say. Only time will tell. Just gonna take my point. Take my point and posture. Show strength. Play like I'm the alpha. You. Getting old. I think I want to save this for a fatal push or a telling time situation. But we are on the bubble. A loss will knock out the Esper control deck. Let's see what happens. Do you run 27 lands? Might be why if you do. If you're asking me if this deck has 27 lands, it does not. It has 26, but the deck list is below for your perusing if you like. Whether or not, if you're asking about whether or not we run 27 lands in Amonkhet, I think cycling lets you run less lands, but that's a debatable topic. I guess it depends on the goals of the deck. Alright, well, we drew the Grasp. I'm more worried about the Fumarole than the Weaver. I really don't mind if the Weaver wants to sit out there for a while. But how low do I let it bring my life total, right? That's the question. I think I'll mind it for a few more turns, because all these draw steps and all these turns going by where I'm just taking one are giving me a chance to draw out of Floodtastic here. Opponent doesn't seem to mind either. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what do we even have down there? Like right now we're getting a telling time? Yuck. Maybe a grasp is better than that. And what's over here? Hasn't shown me anything quite like a counterspell yet. So this is gonna get interesting. If he has a counter, it's a pretty obvious shut you down situation. Oh! Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so we have to find a counterspell of our own with a telling time, I suppose. If that doesn't work, we'll exile the thing, but he's just gonna comparative analysis here. I'd much prefer to counter this, though. Man, this has been horrible. I guess we'll take it because it's a spell. And we'll put you on top, but we're going to shuffle that. Grip of the Royal. Sure. No problemo there. I don't think I need to disperse it right here. Okay, what are you getting? Comparative, I'm sure. Comparative targets. He deals 1. Alright, exile you. And this could be a painful turn. You could also have lethal here, but I think we had to do what we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty bad. Down to 1. Does he have a shock? Because that'll do it. I did say at the onset that I think that blue-red are the best control colors. And this would be our second loss to blue-red control. If we do, in fact, lose. And we do. So, I think most of that was the flood. But probably just better, more versatile cards in blue-red. Alright, so that puts an end to the Esper deck. About where I expected it to be. It's not what I would call the greatest, but it is a beloved archetype, and I love playing it. So, we finish at 7 and 2. We'll throw that into the chat, and we'll get into deck builder here for our farewells. Esper control, you have failed this city. Dun 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 dun. Boom. We will see you in Amonkhet, where I believe Control and Dirtle will be in a better place. All right, now what? Still on the docket. Salty Tokens, Mardu Midroom, Abzan, Grixie, Godzilla, Dimir Energy, Green Black, Bant, Mardu Aggro, is it? What's it gonna be? Let's shift gears. Let's get it? Let's get vehicles on the stack. It's based on the Mobius tokens list that won the Xbox Fight Club. J-Sank asks what Salty Tokens is. Sorry, quick diversion there. And let's update the deck list here. This will just take me a few minutes, so going on a quick break. Okay, I've got the deck list done. Just as a preamble, this is the super aggressive version of a vehicle deck. The black mana is only for scrounging, and everything else is just about going fast and beating opponents before they can beat you or establish board presence, things like that. So we don't have the black splash because we want consistent mana, so we have Thopter Arrest instead of Unlicensed Disintegration. But we also play Fleet Wheel Cruiser, which isn't always a given in the vehicle decks anymore, but since this one's trying to be as fast as it can be, we max out on the haste and the evasion with the flying vehicles over here. Not trying to play that mid-range game. This is the fast version. There is a mid-range version of the deck that definitely leans harder into black that I will probably be playing down the line if we get time for it, but this is all about fast as possible vehicles. So a complete change of tempo from the Esper deck, and we'll see how many wins this can pick up. Now, I do think this is a very good deck. I'm optimistic it will get some wins. I am, however, skeptical of whether or not it can set the record because, well, it's still a very, very, very aggro-focused deck, and some things can just happen that it can't deal with. Go wide token decks in particular can give this build a lot of trouble. And what else can give this thing a lot of trouble? Super dedicated like Mardu control and Planeswalker control that really, just goes all out. I think we can keep this. It's not great, but if we draw a 3-power creature, it's fantastic, so I think we roll with it. What do you think about Emerald Bruiser? I would give it back if I could. That's my opinion of how good that card is. I would give it back to Stainless. I would give it back to Wizards of the Coast. I'd say, I don't want to see this card in my collection anymore. Can I just hide it forever? That's what I would do with that card. And by the way, it's okay not to agree with me. Hopefully I'm not, dumping on your baby, but perfectly fine to disagree with me. Mountain off the top is fine, I guess. Well, we needed it in a way. Still looking for that 3-power or even 2-power creature to crew the heart next turn. And our opponent's showing us more red-blue. It's been really popular lately. All forms of red-blue control, whether it's Rise from the Tides, Tutelage, or whatever the heck the last thing was, like, all spells, I guess. You think we'll actually get the 4/3 for 2? I don't care. I mean, that's a fine card, but I don't think it'll be played as much as people think. Will we actually get it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, right? It's one of those things. It's an uncommon. They gave us Reflector Mage, and I don't think it's overpowered. I think it should be in duels. I was saying that yesterday. I don't know if that card will ever get to shine in Standard, but I think it would get played in duels in all kinds of decks, so. Too many lands, guys. Too many lands. Alright. Enough land. Knock it off. Had it. Seen all I need to see of these lands. We've seen the disperse. We have to keep that in mind. Opponent accidentally showed that to us. But let's see. Hopefully they tap out on 3 for something. Whether it's a Weaver, which would be a pain, but whatever it is, we can hopefully punch them with this cruiser. Hey, it's a Weaver. What do you know? And draw. What the hell is going on? Every draw step's been a land. What am I supposed to do? Meh. Flood out. It's almost certain doom, so it's like we already lost the game, but we will fight. How much more applicable? Gemini asks, how much more applicable do you think magma spray will become, considering embalm is in the format? I mean, you have to be selective. I don't think you just jam 4 magma sprays because you might run into embalm and scrap heap scrounger. You probably need to have some selection there. I mean, shock, magma spray, fiery impulse. These are different cards with different applications. So if you're running some kind of a control-ish build, or even a mid-range build, you need to have the solutions for each situation. That's interesting. He lets me untap. Okay. So he's probably gonna play a spell like his disperse. He's probably gonna kill one of my guys. How many cards have I got on here? 3. I definitely want those. This is interesting. Very interesting indeed. So we will go... Weaver's gonna be a pain if I don't draw something here. See what happens. Alright, he let me have the trigger, which is probably a mistake. So what do I want most? He's got disperse, which means if I activate my bomat courier, you can... How come I can't get to my vehicles? What is going on? There we go. I guess I'd rather he disperse the cheap one. So that'll go off first. His Weaver trigger will go off first, so I'll get to draw first. Okay. There's the disperse. There isn't the disperse. There's the resolution. That's silly. He let me have that too. Bit of mistakes. Alright, so I get to do this before the heart gets dispersed and draw 4 new cards. Another harness lightning. Not the removal spell I need right now. Not the one. Okay. He's pausing me for nothing. Love it. And I guess we put out the heart again? Because what do we do next turn? We have 5. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Heart. I don't think, I mean, this is my opinion. I think that Galvanic Bombardment gets the biggest hose from like cards like Magma Spray and all the 1 mana cycling things being around, because I just don't see you needing I see you wanting consistency out of you want your Fiery Impulse to deal 3, you want your Magma Spray to exile things, you want your Shock to Planeswalker. I just think you want that more now. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. So I think Bombardment having to be a 4 of to be effective is the big cost against it. Because right now I just don't think you want to spend all 4 slots on something that isn't more versatile. Alright, let's see. Definitely want to fire up Cruiser and get in. No doubt about that. Selfless. I mean, we can play all 3 of these. Or we can play, like, Pia, Apprentice, and Heart, which is probably better. Right? So, yeah, having Heart out there is better. 2 toughness isn't as common. I agree with that, but, I mean, with all the cycling going on, and with other, the mass amount of spells, I have no problem making Fiery Impulse a 3, which is why I like it a lot better than a Bombardment, because the first Bombardment is always horrible because of exactly what you said. There isn't enough 2 toughness anymore that you want to tag with a shock type effect. But there's plenty of times you want to shock a Planeswalker, and there's plenty of times you need to deal 3 to a creature to be effective. I have a feeling that mainly what we're debating here is the feels. we each have different experiences to draw from, so we're debating what feels good more than what is good. And that happens all the frickin' time, so I'm not taking a jab at you. I prefer lightning bolt. Me too, homie. Me too. Me too. Okay, so this is getting annoying. But I think the way... Let's see if he lets this resolve. He does. You're gonna regret it. Okay. Let's at least make those Weaver triggers less effective. He's still not responding. That's weird. I would respond to such things. Alright. Can I kill him? I think so. Probably has to disperse, though, to break me up a bit. Nothing wrong with that. What you got? What's up? Show me. Hungry Flizzames. Okay. What are you targeting? That's going to tap him out. That's going to make the indestructible game, right? He needed to use that in response to something. He needed to use that in response to the selfless coming into play or the Gideon, but the vehicles weren't active then. Yeah, I think he was in trouble either way. He might have been able to survive. But this'll do it. Yeah, nothing like the aggro deck having to go through 2 Weaver of Lightnings, but here we are. Alright. Record 1-0. Woot! Boom, 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 boom. Let's go get another. Let's get another. When it comes to 1-mana removal, it shouldn't even be that good. Fatal Push is still probably the bestest, but since blue-red is so good in control, you have to select your blue-red removals. I think right now my deck has something like 4 Fiery Impulse and a Shock. Maybe it's 2 Shock, something like that. You just always want one. You always want something early enough. And I went through all the iterations. I went through the 4 Bombardment, 4 Shock, 4 Bombardment, 4 Impulse, all the things. I tried. The Suave Lobster, I know I've played this person many times. And this time we have all the 3-drops. Last game we couldn't draw the 3-drops. So I don't think I can keep that. Too slow. This is better. We will set this party off right. Did you see the new Chris and Drew show for Amonkhet? I think they hinted at Regal Caracal making it into duels. I saw that. I think it's funny that we're dissecting things they may or may not have hinted at, because I like to listen for what people actually say, and I think they said as close to nothing as they possibly could. I mean, I don't know. We've had some pretty cool, big, and format warping announcements in those videos before. This announcement was basically nothing. It was 4 minutes of, hey, we are making Amonkhet for duels in case any of you thought the game was gonna die, and that was about it. I gotta admit, I was as underwhelmed as I can be. Oh my goodness, what's with the lands? Okay. Gonna get over it. Gonna get over it. Seems so familiar from last game. Let's see if my opponent's just gonna take this damage. And they are. Interesting. Maybe I was supposed to play Hub there because of Thalia. No, if he plays Thalia, I'm definitely zapping it. Reading bones, I like it. You go read those bones. Mr. Lobster. I'm gonna leave you at, what, 4 life with a needle spires on the table? So if he goes read the bones into languish, he's dead. This is madness. Looks like we're getting those cycle dual lands, unless the math ends up being off. But yeah, that video was pointless as sin. I don't know what people... Can someone try, at least in chat, to explain to me what we mean by the math and the numbers? I saw the post on NGA about getting certain numbers in duels, but I don't understand. I don't understand how that works. Can someone try to explain it to me? I would appreciate the help. But yeah, I think Kreider's right. I try to avoid reading into things or expecting certain cards. Then you just don't appreciate what you get nearly as much as you would otherwise. What math? Like, I don't get how you can do certain math and say we're definitely getting X or Y. It doesn't make sense to me. There's the languish. So he did go read the bones into languish, and he's just dead. Isn't that great? Don't we love it? All right, dead on board. Why? Because we curved out. Not exactly. We didn't even have a 3-drop, which is absurd. If we had had a 3-drop, it would have been even worse. I know that Nighthawk said he played against Wizards, Chris, once, so that would mean Steam, I suppose, Gemini, who asks what platform does, quote, that guy, unquote, play on. Maybe he means, Modulo? Modulo? Maybe he means Modulo. To which I don't have the answer. I would guess Steam. I'm telling you, interacting with Twitch and then uploading to YouTube later and trying to keep things coherent because people can't see chat when they watch YouTube and trying to make it good for everybody has made me really aware of language. And that's why you hear me say Gemini says this or Kreider says that or Bounce says this, or why you hear me try to figure out what words like that guy mean. It's actually pretty hard to keep things straight. It's made me aware of English language more than most exercises I participate in. That and all my own vocal tics, like Well, on the draw, this hand is okay because we have removal, so we don't end up on the back foot. We have to draw a land, which hasn't been a problem in the last 2 games, but we will see. And we drew the land. Glory, glory, hallelujah. And our opponent's on the tap land plan. Yeah, I guess we'll get busy instead of holding up removal. Jace Sank says, you are the master of drawing land. There are games where I would say that's not true, but not many. Alright, Bounce has some insight onto what he calls the math. 35 rares, not enough artifact multicolor rares that function in duels to fill up what KLD or SLD did, so each of these had 5 rares for each monocolor. So unless we get 6 rares for each color, there's 5 spaces available in the rare slot. Okay, that's still a lot of speculation. I get what you're saying now. I get where he's getting it from. I thought it was something else that he was doing. I get where it's coming from, but that's still all speculation. They could change their mind on that anytime they want to. So I'm not gonna get married to any ideas there. Turn 3 Liliana's good on the play. It's always good. Seems to mess with every opponent ever. It really is the best spot for Liliana, obviously. Turn 3 Planeswalkers. I have said it before, I will say it again. They're one of the worst things that can happen to this game. I think they're horrible for this game, in my opinion. And here comes Lily going up. He's got a caravan, so I guess we're up against Superfriends. Yay. Superfriends with a slow draw. Alright. The blue... He's a math god. He predicted a blue-green walker. And well, that Nissa was floating around way before that, Gemini. People weren't sure it was real. People knew that that was coming. Not just him. Like, that was all over the internet. Sorry if I'm raining on the dude's thunder. Maybe he didn't get it from elsewhere, but it was definitely all over the internet. I saw a speculation about blue-green walker, like, the first week of spoilers, and they said it was Nissa. They thought it was a mono-green Nissa? Maybe we're not reading the same sites. The ones I read said it was Simic. Let's see if he just has Sorin here. Chandra, great. You ticking down? Or up? What's it gonna be, homie? We gotta keep enough pressure on the board so that he feels like he has to put a creature between my, yeah, nice. This is great. This is, 5-color planeswalkers curving out. Dramatically perfect. You gotta love it. Alright, let's see what we can do. That's not a good draw right now. We have to put a creature down. And I guess we might kill Lily. So if Lily dies... this is interesting. You. The thought process behind that, I went pretty deep, so I'm not going to try to say it all, but I think this is going to be the better 3-drop. It was weird, but generally speaking, maybe in the future I can drop a PNLR and crew both Smuggler's Copter and Harvester, or make a blocker stop, whereas Thalia is kind of all trick on board, and if he minuses Chandra to kill it, that's fine. And yay, now he has Sorin. This game is fun. Yeah, the sitting on 2 removal spells is really bad in this case. Oh, he's going up. Interesting. So maybe he's going down with Chandra. I'm XYQCO asks, hey man, I just finished Kaladesh and Revolt is 20% done. I was thinking about moving on to Origins. Should I wait for Amonkhet? I'm not a good person to ask that. I haven't had to grind out packs for a long time, but maybe some people in chat can share their opinions with you on that. Alright, so... Too bad we didn't draw another creature, but this will have to do. Tap the Thopter in case he has Nahiri. Saving the energy because I might need it to kill the caravan. Take Chandra out. Play Copter, so if we draw a way to crew it, we can swing with both, and okay. What you gonna do, Sorin? Probably tick up. He doesn't have great targets on the battlefield, but maybe he thinks if he can kill both, he can leave me without crew, which is very possible because we're sitting on these. Nope, he's going up. Opponent with no regard. Okay, Nissa. Great. We're down to 12, so we're almost dead to a Nissa. Yawn, what you doing, dude? Another caravan and a Nissa? Okay. Could be worse, I suppose. Love that he got to flip a 5-drop to Sorin. But that happens. Oh, Angel. Okay. Sweet. That is a weird card to just throw into your walker deck, but I am all for it. Okay. We can remove both of those. How much can we attack for if we do that? 6. Okay. Maybe I just remove the Angel, then how much do I attack for? Yeah, that'll do. If I leave him with the 1/1s, that will do it. Do I save the declaration in stone? It can take out the token so I can get to Nissa, so I think I do. I think we might be okay. And we can gain some life since our life total is under a bit of attack and we just generated some energy. And we know his last card is Nissa. There we go. This declaration is going to be important. I'm going to loot anyway in case it's like a land on top or a scrap heap scrounger. Ha! Nice. Although we don't have a way to get it back yet. Okay. Staying alive. So, let's see what he does. He can get back his Sorin, his Chandra, his Liliana with this Nissa, or he can make a 5/5. The 5/5 won't save him. It's the aerial assault that'll beat him. So I think he wants to get something back. What would you get back? What would you get back? Maybe I get back the Angel, which would be very disappointing for him if he does, because the declaration will sweep him. But the Angel's probably the best thing against the board? I don't know. That doesn't really work either, because all the attacks are airborne, so what should it be? Guys, help him out. What are you supposed to do with this Nissa? Help him out. He's gonna go for Sorin, which he can't play this turn. So it's a suicide Nissa to get a Sorin. Which means his strategy is probably going to be to try to draw out of this, since Sorin doesn't even have a good target on the battlefield. Alright. Oh, we know his hand. Let's get all this going. Since we know he can't react, I'm just going to make all these plays main phase. Because I think they're going to be right. Although I guess I should loot first before I pump the harvester. I guess nobody has an opinion on what he should do with that Nissa. It's a tough call, right? It's a tough spot. I think we can agree with that. We're definitely going to pump once, because there's no way I'm going to draw anything off this copter that costs more than 4, because that's the most expensive thing in my deck. Alright. You are going there. You are going there. See what we loot. Another land. So we will pump some more. And the Air Force continues to slaughter. So I'm guessing the plan is to play Sorin and plus and try to draw out of this. Really, he just what he should If he knew my hand, he'd know that he should just kill the Pia and the Thopter, and I have no crew, but it's hard to make that call in the seat, as just any creature off the top is a problem. If he had minus the sorin to kill Pia the first time, and minused it to kill the Thopter this time, I'd have no crew whatsoever. I'd be dead in the water. But you never know that. They're talking, so there's some talk in chat about changing the art for evolving wilds. There's talk in chat about changing Kithian. That looks really out of place. There's talk about full art lands, and I like Bounce's comment that BBB's comment that shame none of this is happening because they're too busy making 4-minute say nothing videos. The one thing they did say, they spoke directly to me. They spoke directly to me. They reached out and they said, "Hey, you out there," and they meant me. "Keep making all the content and videos. We love it." That's what they said. They know what's up. They know. They know. All right, well, we can't have him flipping that Gideon's. Is that worth a declaration in stone? Do I care if he flips the Gideon? I don't know that I care. But I can't, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we can choose pumps after. We'll go this way. Bounce says, "I still want to know what his Abzan Reanimator is." Really, dude? Really? You're curious? You're curious about the deck that guy plays? You want his deck list? You want to steal his elite skills? I find that pretty funny. I find that pretty funny. Yeah, I'm not going to use the energy right now. Still may draw another Harness Lightning for that Caravan. I think it would be my third, but weirder things happen. No, it would be my second. Okay, so Kithian time. Do I care? Do I care? He would have to sacrifice both of his 1/1s to flip his Kithian, and then I kick its butt, so I don't care. Refurbishing Cataclysmic Gearhulk is a guess in chat, and a funny one. Another is Vessel, Grapple, Necro, and Wispweaver Angel. Oh my. Oh my. We just went to the top rope, didn't we? Angel on Angel. Oh boy. That's fun. Well, now he has an Air Force. Kudos. Can I get him dead? Can I get him dead before this all goes to hell? Oh my goodness. It's Planeswalkers and over-the-top mythics. Well, Flip Gideon's a lot more meaningful in that situation. But he's not going for it. And there's the Harness Lightning. Okay. Leave him with a 5/7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave him with the 5/7. Crack that. He can't block. 2/1 is not indestructible. Attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite enough. could kill both his flyers and leave him with his 1/1 tokens. That's probably better. Then he's dead in 2 turns. I can dig that. Alright, that's the play. He's like, what? Yeah, we've seen this movie, haven't we? But that's what you get saving removal spells. Saving removal spells is the smart. Crack that clue. Right. Well, my last draw was a really good one. I'm going to assume that this draw is going to suck, and I'm going to just mill it. Yeah. Arguable. All right. Your move. Ryder says that is best play. I hope you mean the one I made. I'd like to think you mean that. I'd like to think so. Oh my goodness. He just drew. So he would have just drawn that card. Okay, so I'm really glad I didn't use Declaration Stone on the tokens. I'd be pretty freaking dead right now. I'd be pretty dead. Good news is we can make it so that Gisela can't block. Mythics win games? Not this game. This game will be decided by some common, some uncommon power, a little bit of rare power, a little bit more uncommon power. What's it gonna be? It would be great if he could force like one of the vehicles to attack Gideon, but he can't. I guess that wouldn't help him here either. Bounce. BBB says I'm just salty at Mythic top decks. He's the one who said that Mythics win games. I think you're salty at all top decks, but I'll just hold on. I'll just reserve my opinions. All right. Woo. Well, I guess Mythics can in fact win games, right? So, okay. Do this right. He's got no cards in hand, so I mean this is the game. As long as I don't screw it up. All right. You can't block, you get in there. The flying vehicles go the distance. Holy cow. So I've got to look at this battlefield. I got to look at this one more time. We had to face down double caravans that never got activated, so pure mana fixing there. Gisela, Bruna, which came off the top like one card apart from each other. Oh, I think I just froze it.